I don't
It
even
was
think
such a good documentary. I wish you would have seen it, Erickson. It was good.
Yeah, you could have been in on this. But yeah, it's still.
Oh, I thought Erickson was just interested.
Yeah,
I think he's frozen.
it just kind of ended. No, he's
He's evidence.
I've
He's got some of the depositions.
I think
he put up a background of his own self so he could go watch the documentary.
Yeah, I think he's jamming with a few scenes here just to get some filler thoughts. It started clicking again.
Yeah,
weird. It's fucking dying.
Yeah.
There you go. Beautiful. Look at that. Oh, that's perfect, dude. Don't worry about it.
The good news is I just had to look for computers, like just a basic computer. My daughter's going to school, and she had to go to the library to use it, and they had like a time limit. And I found her a fucking nice computer for like $165. I didn't know you can get computers for that cheap.
Windows 10.
Yeah, it was just it doesn't hardly have any memory or whatever, but if to log on and go to school or do a Skype, you don't need
it's comparable to a library computer.
Yes.
Yeah. Hobos use.
Yeah, I can go down to the library.
that would make for some fun podcast.
It's actually a pretty decent idea.
We all go to a public space.
If it weren't
a laptop and see who gets kicked out first. No one can be in the fucking building, no matter how big no one wants to be around me when I'm doing this podcast because I just get animated and loud and have a good time. It's like, are you objecting to me being loud or that I'm having more fun than you? What's the fucking problem here?
Yeah, it seems to be louder when you can only hear 1/4 of the conversation somehow. You know what I mean? Like the quarter of it that you're hearing is like cranked to 11 because you're not hearing any of the other parts. We just sound like maniacs.
And we all have microphones in front of us, but when we get excited, we shout like we're fucking far away from each other.
Or away from the microphone.
Yeah, there's that. We have the other problem as well.
That opening was fucking gold, Erickson. You fucking nailed it. Andy talking, and it's just like his voice like a million miles away. He said something about 10 feet, and you're like, yeah, like you, 10 feet. Yeah, it was fucking great. Yeah. Todd's doing a great job. I got to say it again. When I put out the audio only, I have to go grab those the video ones and convert them. I love that someone's out there doing that, and he does a great job.
Yeah, he's a good boy. We appreciate his efforts.
Fuck, man.
Dude, what you do?
Set it down. You can't just set it on your
lean it up against. You have a desk just covered in fucking knickknacks, and you can't find anything to lean your phone up against.
Oh yeah, well I wasn't prepared for that, but I got the nick. I was like,
you've got that number 42 thing from the Dairy Queen, that order number 42 placard. Just use that.
There's whatever angle you want on your laptop. You just lean it right in front of your laptop.
And then you can adjust it by leaning the laptop back or forward.
Yeah.
Now back a little more.
For the goddamn.
I'm going into tech support, man. I'm good at this.
You got the Holy Trinity here. Erickson with the calming voice, me with like, and then Chad's like, nope, that's what it is, and it's fucking that's what you need. But they never do that. They just give.
You know what's going on is I had demon sex with my computer.
Yeah, I don't doubt it.
Endometriosis.
He gave his computer an ovarian cyst.
The new mic sits right up here, and everything was fucking good. And I'm like, man, I don't even need that shoebox of shit or any of that other shit that I'd prop that mic up. I just set the mic on this computer, and I got no problems.
Dare to dream.
Then what happened?
Shitty. I don't know. I've never been happy with anything, but this computer is one of them.
All right, that was a good one. Yeah.
But yeah, it seemed like everything was going good, and then I turned it on, and then but that's all right. It's just I think Trump's sending everybody some money. I'll just wait for the check.
You should be able, with your Trump bucks, you should be able to get a nice laptop.
Trump bucks. Did his dad try to buy Trump bucks and that got him in trouble?
One, oh shit, what was the Underground Railroad lady?
Harriet Tubman?
Harriet. I want my money with Harriet Tubman on it. We'll get a computer. God,
Are you gonna, Andy? Do you think you're just gonna get another computer?
Well, yeah, I can never. I've never opened one of these things up and jimmied with it, but I assume it's like an automobile that I got.
That's what I asked you.
Just like an automobile.
Hey, Andy, are you gonna open that thing up and jimmy with it, or are you gonna buy another computer? That's an entirely different question than what I asked you.
I have a knife out here, and I couldn't figure out. It's like one of those switchblade things that you fold up or something, but I could not figure out how to fold it up. And then one day I just threw it at the tree and it folded up.
So you're telling us you're going to throw your laptop at the tree?
It might stop that clicking.
It might indeed. It might stop the clicking. I would agree with that.
You
shit.
Start sending out anti-government tweets and then your computer fucks up on you.
Yeah, that could too, Andy. You can shut down.
They must have seen some drone footage of you at the Portland riot. Now they've identified you as a instigator and a troublemaker.
Yeah.
Number one.
A provocateur.
Well, I saw those agent provocateur or people. Well, not even them. I saw people who were like trying to figure out angles of the shit. And I couldn't figure out any angles, so I just went to the beach.
What do you mean by angles?
Like, what are we gonna do? Pole vault in there? Like, try to break the fence? Like, people were checking, people checking the angles, and that's what I do too. But I didn't. There wasn't a prize there for me. But then I was thinking, well, shit, they're staying at a Courtyard Marriott, is what I heard. And it's like people criticize the Rolling Stones for having Hell's Angels that beat the shit out of people at their concert. Like the fucking cops are doing 10 times worse than what Hell's Angels did there to ruin that Stones concert.
Well, even the Stones had a problem with the way the Hell's Angels handled it, and I don't think they were the ones who hired them. I think the promoter does.
They were though. They negotiated with their friend Jerry Garcia and Jerry Garcia brought his friends from the Hell's Angels in, and then they paid them in cases of beer and acid.
Seemed like a good deal at the time.
Yeah. After 12 hours of eating acid and pounding Schlitz, the Hell's Angels decided they'd seen enough hippies.
Yeah.
Time to start stabbing them.
That'll do it. Yeah. In advance for.
I feel like we need to just do a reset as soon as Andy stops fucking around.
I put it on. I'm balancing it on a shoe.
I lost the internet for a second, so I went away and had to start a new recording. And
there we go. I'm good here. First
20 minutes can just be a montage of bloopers.
I'm pretty solid here on the internet. You want me to just go ahead and record this?
How am I gonna get all this?
I'm already doing it. Let's just keep going. It's fine. I think it was more of I think it dropping was more of just a weird anomaly.
Did you hear a clicking?
Fingers crossed. Yes, but I always hear that. That's in my head. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Issues with Andy. We're starting over. We've been doing this for 20 minutes, but it hasn't gone well so far. So we just hit a big reset button, and now look at us go.
When we started, I had a full drink, and you can't. You still can't see it. When I started, I had my Mai Tai, and now we're starting, and it's empty. So
yeah. Well, we can wait. Go make another one.
No, there's no more Mai Tai. Those were pre.
Oh, that was it.
Let's just restart. Let's restart again.
Let's just keep restarting.
The camera. I mean, he's on his phone, obviously, because his laptop.
That's a good shot, dude. It's a better looking fucking camera than mine.
Yep.
My computer is fucking done, but my phone has stepped up its game.
The phones are good. The other day, I tried to do a Twitch stream from the computer. We were going to have multiple cameras and stuff, and it turns out that it's fucking not as good technology as just the phone.
It's very interesting.
When I was doing, when I was up with my brother, and they ended up shutting down the convention and everything for Ghost Ride, going out to St. Louis in March. Decided, we'll fucking on a dime. It's like, all right, we're just gonna film our entire catalog. We'll do this thing. And it's like, we need cameras. We need this. And this like film student who was working for my brother goes, "What? You got an iPhone? Yeah, that's better than any camera you're gonna go spend money on." And so we had a gimbal with a fucking iPhone. We're just walking around. I'm going, oh yeah, and audio and everything is fucking way superior than what you're probably gonna go buy, unless you're gonna go make another Quentin Tarantino movie or something. But yeah.
That's good to know.
Oh yeah, for our upcoming sojourn.
For things, yeah.
Yeah. Or bug out. Fucking bail out. I'm getting dead. I haven't been shooting at my bolts as much, but the last 10 arrows I put on the target, all right in the face, right in the nose. It's like, I don't know how much better I need to get. I just need to, I need to upgrade the target.
I mean, doesn't that mean you should like take a couple steps back? If you can hit the center every time, shouldn't you just start backing up till you can't? And then
I guess so.
Oh, good point. Yeah,
I'm just throwing that out there.
Erickson just murdered the neighbor. I hope you know that, Erickson.
Yeah, he will have to get. There will be a couple of bolts wasted on this one.
Blood on your hands at this point,
dude. I've been watching Law and Order all day. I'm positive I just committed reckless endangerment.
Yeah.
You didn't watch that goddamn documentary you were supposed to watch.
I know I didn't. I forgot.
Oh, you didn't? I watched it last night at like 1 a.m.
Damn it, Erickson!
I forgot. You guys should have reminded.
You're no Michelle McNamara.
You like posted links on fucking Twitter and Facebook, like I did. That kind of reminds you.
I even thanked you for sharing the link. Well, this would be perfect because I talk too much anyway. I'll just you guys talk about it and then I'll just
no way.
We'll work that way.
Next episode. That is it because I've seen it. Chad, you've seen it. Andy, you've seen it.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I watched the last podcast.
I'm sorry to let the team down.
So I'd be all up on it.
Yeah, we don't. Was that the only homework assignment we've ever had?
Yeah. Eric's dog ate his TV.
No, it's because it's the only homework assignment we've ever had. It's why I forgot to do it.
Sorry, I couldn't watch a murder documentary. I was busy watching murder dramas.
Yeah, and not only that, I did watch.
Based on that story on Law and Order, so he could probably get 80% of it correct. The names have been changed.
There was somebody who there was like one of those news magazine stories years ago. I forget what happened. Somebody disappeared,
or like
somebody disappeared at the Coos County Fair, and I don't even remember the fuck. I think a dude got murdered, he was at the fair, and I remember the news magazine story, and it came in and it said, it really talked up the Coos County Fair like. It was, like it was a fucking, he was lost in the lights of the Midway kind of bullshit. But yeah, I can't even remember that kid. But there's been a few murders around town. In that little town, there's a few. There was like a few murders. Like
Andy, it's Jeremy Bright. He went missing at the Coos County Fair like 30 years ago.
Yeah, Jeremy Bright was his name.
Jeremy Dolland Bright, and there's
I bet there's more than one person went missing from the Coos County Fair. If
I think this one might have been before that one.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
See, the fact that Erickson can't talk about it, I don't want to get into it, but like because of our
no. Let's just fucking do it. Let's just do it.
With our relationship with and we hear all the like sawdust checking and all the fucking shit going on.
Yeah.
Don't you get it differently than like someone coming in from the outside and going, well, you know, every city has their issues. It's like, no, this is systemic. This is rotten from the top.
A lot of issues. I don't want to ruin it for Erickson, but the killer's still out there.
Yeah, here's well, now I'm not watching it.
Who would want to see a case that came down to the a testimony of an idiot man, John Lindgren?
Lindgren's testimony. If I was on that jury, and even if I thought the guy did it, it wouldn't be based on what Lindgren said. And the other guy who like confessed to something like 10 years later is like, hey, how come the defense attorney's like, hey, how come you didn't? Oh wait, hold on. We're talking about it. We got to stop.
No, let's talk about it.
Mr. Lindgren, here's a picture of you. What to describe what you're doing to this automobile? Fucking killing it. Okay, I
can't believe that he's a fucking material witness in that thing.
Yeah, one of the main ones. That's what I was. Whenever I read that, I first read an article about it.
So
before I watched it.
Here's how we have to do this, whether I've seen it or not. But somebody, because there will be some people on here watching this who haven't seen it. So somebody is still going to have to explain what it is about if we're going to talk about it.
So
I would do that, but I forgot to watch it. It's all my fault.
I think it's about a hit and run.
Andy explains the situation. Chad jumps in when Andy invariably gets it wrong, and then you keep asking questions.
How about this? How about Andy explains it? I try to see if I can understand it, and then you guys can tell me if I've got it right.
Okay.
All right. We'll give you the whole rundown of it.
But I heard of the family. Anyway, a boyfriend, girlfriend, the dude takes her to go stay with friends for a couple hours. And then he goes to look for some more pussy. Apparently, like he's like his girlfriend's gone for 2 hours, and then she goes missing. And while he's looking for her, when she went missing, he was trying to get some side pussy.
I love that's what you focus in on, like a tiny fucking detail midway through.
Girlfriend is a guy's.
Devoid of so many facts, devoid of so many details that really paint the picture. Andy is just like some horny high school kid where in some period of time that we don't know was like looking for pussy.
Well, that's what I got, because I did the same thing when I had a girlfriend there. She didn't go missing, but that guy was just, if he hadn't done that, she went missing. And if he would have, this chick comes out and says, well, he's trying to fuck me in the meantime. So everybody's automatically going, oh, he killed his girlfriend. But there's no there was no evidence.
There's no timeline. Not sharing any timeline whatsoever. All of this happened in one night.
Last week it happened.
Yeah. So, but she goes missing. But the thing is, did you think he was guilty, Chad?
Wait a minute. You got to explain to me what is going on.
Let me tell you what Ed said. In the year 2000, a 15-year-old girl went missing from Coquille, Oregon. They couldn't find her. They never did find. They found a couple of her shoes, and then they found her body like about a week or so later.
8 weeks later.
It was on July 4th. She went missing in June, and they found her on July 4th, so it wasn't a long time. But they never had a suspect. The case went cold. 9-10 years later, in 2010, they arrested her boyfriend and convicted her boyfriend of murdering her. And then in 2019, the Innocence Project proved that it was not him. So that's the whole fucking.
There's levels,
story, yeah. But
this is the guy that when his girlfriend went missing, he went out immediately looking for some side pussy.
Well, he drove around looking for her.
First, he was looking for her, and there's substantiated evidence. And the thing that the Innocence Project, it's not the Innocence Project. I can't remember what it is, but the brilliant fucking attorney, the 1% of attorneys that actually do good, was like, this timeline is bananas. none of this is true. And yet this is exactly what the prosecution and the fucking police chief at the time, they hung their hat on this whole fucking bogus thing, part of which was John fucking Lindgren.
That's one of the funny things is that, they said that one of the most damning testimony was that John Lindgren saw them together at 9:30 at night. Imagine my surprise reading these articles, and I'm like, I know that name. What the fuck, man?
Wow. John Lindgren?
The whole reason this got on my radar at all is because the chief of police at the time and in Coquille is now the Cochise County Sheriff here where we live, and he's getting sued. Yeah, he's getting sued. Got a federal lawsuit against
the district attorney for Coos Bay at the time. The fucking stodgy guy was like, "Oh, I stand by." Like nine
they
people.
Always look like that.
9 people being indicted for this, at least 9. In fact, a couple of people.
What? He's indicted 9 different people for the same crime?
No, for the evidence tampering and.
He's got 9 of them. At least 9 of them wrong.
This guy,
And
they have.
He's a prick. I've had him as a judge in court, and it didn't go well for me either. But
as a judge now.
The DA let's see, I went against he was the DA when it was just a bunch of fucking traffic problems, shit like that. It seems like I had him or Larry had him. He's been around forever, and he came to the conclusion that the guy was guilty anyway, even though they proved that he wasn't guilty. He goes, I'm still standing. It's like, just fucking say you made a mistake. There was no DNA evidence to. Here's what I remember that case years ago and hearing about it, and it was like that, everybody suspected the boyfriend did it, but there was like, he's a fucking kid, he was dating her, they were fucking a couple. He could get mad and kill her, but he's not going to do it in that time frame and get rid of blood evidence and not have anything on him or trip up at all. It's just fucking ludicrous.
There were ATM cameras that had his car going by at times in different areas that the district attorney was saying, "Oh, we have evidence that says someone saw me at the Mighty Mart." It's like, but there's video evidence of his car going by the ATM miles away.
He had a headlight out that night and was pulled over twice while he was driving around searching for her. And told the cops, I'm searching for my girlfriend. And then they discredit him with the whole thing, because then he went to another girl after he searched. That's what Andy was talking about. He went over to another girl's house and tried to get, hey, come with me and help me.
So he was just getting this other girl
and then he tried to
help
figure,
in the search.
but that's what you do when you're 18 years old and you have a girl in your car. I mean, right?
I think she's dead, because that it's like she's saying it. Eric said, we didn't say
on me.
We didn't say this in the beginning. It all started with the boyfriend dropping the girl, Leah, off at her friend's house at 7 p.m. And it was agreed that he was coming back at 9 p.m. And before 9 p.m., Leah got in a fight with Sherry, her friend. And Sherry, they broke, that was it. That was the last time she saw her, because she goes, well, I'm walking home. And that's why it's like last seen walking, because she went walking back, because Leah had a propensity to go over to her friend Sherry's house and then go, hey, let's go jogging, and then have the boyfriend come pick him up somewhere and then leave Sherry to walk home by herself. And that's why they got in a
that was a good Leah impression too.
She was spot on, Leah, right there.
I think that sounded eerie. How much it sounded like her, I'll bet.
I made out with a cousin of that family, and I was like, is that her? I can't say.
Well, if the case, listen, don't say anything. The case is still open. I don't want you to be implicated in any way.
What surprised me, though, too, is after this dude, he just kept living in Coquille, and he's like, everybody calls me a murderer everywhere I go. I'm like, yeah, you live in a fucking little tiny town where everybody thinks you murdered somebody. Move, dude.
It's something like, people in town, they're not, they believe what they believe. They're not going to change their minds. Yeah. It's like, they don't. I mean, it was amazing that they had a mind to even get enough to compose shit to begin with, let alone, fuck it. Yeah. And here's the thing, John Lindgren, when he would get in our faces, and when I was in high school and shit, it looked like he had a dead eye. I think it was a lazy eye, or just it rolled. But he's you know that guy in a lot of the Adam Sandler movies that's got that fucking weird eye. That's what John Lindgren's got going. So it's like, if that's the one eyewitness that makes a case, I would like to put John Lindgren
eyewitness,
and then just
Literally.
got Bert draw. And at some point he's going to get pissed and go and beat the fuck out of something. But he's not an eyewitness. He's barely even a fucking. He's like a fucking retarded Shrek walking around town. Like, if your life is dependent on that guy being a fucking eyewitness, holy shit.
There was John Lindgren's testimony, and there was another guy who came forward like 10 years later, and it was the guy who used to fuck his baby's mom, and was like, he told me that he fucking killed somebody,
and said it as much. I've killed before, I'll kill again. Yeah, that's what a guy who's trying to keep the profile.
It sounded like he was reading it when he said it in his testimony. He said, I've killed before, and I'll kill again.
Yeah, fucking retards down there. Good God. I don't even.
It was such a good documentary. I wish you would have seen it, Erickson. It was good.
Yeah, you could have been in on this. But, yeah, it's still.
Well, I thought Erickson was just interested. Yeah, I think he's frozen.
It's just kind of empty. No,
he's evidence. He's got some of the depositions.
I think he put up a background of his own self so he could go watch the documentary.
Yeah. I think he's jamming with a few scenes here just to get some filler thoughts.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was one of the aerial shots of that town. It showed the house next to my house. But I think is just somebody plowed her.
That's my car. Oh, hey.
No, but I think she just got ran over. If their shoe was found in the graveyard, people go in the graveyard to fucking drink and fight. During the day you fight, at night you fuck or drink. So if you're in the graveyard and she happens to be zipping through there, you hit her and she's fucking out, you throw her in the car. So that's what happened. And if the kid killed her, he would have been swimming in blood, because women, she wouldn't have fucking just let him do it. So there would have been some struggle.
He was clearly innocent.
Hey, Chad, how about when the fucking the new police chief or the co-chief guy, when he's in the 2020 thing going like, and here's they did an investigation of his car and clearly it's been wiped. How do you it looked like a shitty fucking trunk of a car, but you throw in wiped and you're tainting the fucking testimony.
Well, and then you see later because that was the great thing about this, is because they actually had a 2020 crew doing a show about this in 2010 when his guy was arrested. So they have all this old footage. They have footage of the dude being arrested and everything. I don't know why I'm telling you, Erickson's not here, but that was one of the great things about it. But then you see the sheriff now, and he walks that back. He goes, well, I was told that the car was white.
A police chief has a couple of years, because they've risen so far up. They have a couple of years, and then they're fucking golden parachute. They're fine. He wanted to come in and go, we'll fucking
solve this whole case.
Bullshit.
Yeah. The whole strategy was to harass him too. Like,
how does that do anything? 10 years later, we're gonna catch him tripping up somewhere, but like boiling the bones. Come on, you asshole.
Then they tried to use it like where he waved to them. He was like, people would, just told me to smile and wave to him because you didn't do anything, and they used that again. He was mocking us. He's just waving at it. Yeah, you're fucking harassing an innocent dude, man. It's shit to think that dude is our fucking sheriff here, Shaley.
Yeah.
There's gonna be something, because there's too much on that one.
He'll get out of it. I already know how he'll get out of it, is because the DNA evidence that they have, they said they don't have enough. They have that other DNA that proved it wasn't him, but they don't have enough to submit it to the database to say it was someone else. So until they can prove who it is,
Yeah, it's a. But did you find it interesting that they had a fucking person who was on the police force who had blood mixed in with the fucking? What the fuck is that?
It was as much as her DNA. Like Spike, her DNA was here, and his was like right here. Like, that's a lot of fucking DNA. How are you that sloppy?
Bloody nose? You get a fight with your partner? the fuck?
One of the officers accidentally came on her shoe. We apologize for that. It's just disregard that.
We thought it was coke. It turned out it was meth. I got a bit of a nosebleed, but the investigations. That was
You got my page number. We'll fucking just scrub that out of there.
Yeah, it's like the most obvious. Like, okay, who's the suspect? Okay, let's harass that guy and follow him around.
To no end.
Flips up.
And with a film crew to take a guy down in front of his mailbox, in front of his neighbors.
Oh, he's working.
I mean, the guy who went beyond like getting over the fucking death of someone in that early age.
It was fucked up, man.
Guy, you know?
Yeah.
And I agree.
I hope he would.
He's trying to get a little pussy on the side on a night when he's 18 years old with a fucking girl smoking crack. And he's like, this is easy hand job. I'm getting a
girlfriend. While your girlfriend is fucking otherwise occupied with her friend for at least, or she's mad at you. That was the other thing they had. But the other fucked up thing that the police did, they did it right on the 2020 episode of the old one where they came out and they go, well, he was 18 and she was 15. So if she was pregnant, then that means that he was looking at a statutory rape charge. Wait, you can't just say if she was pregnant. She was not pregnant. Clearly, you found her body. She was not.
That was that one guy with the glasses who was like, yeah, these are theories. You can say theories. There's zero facts that back any of this up because the body had been decomposed so badly because it had been 6 weeks at least that it was in the fucking woods and the animals had torn it apart. There's nothing. I can't believe they found the fucking clothing evidence that they did because, I mean, animals are fucking, I mean, they're ripping.
You saw the aerial footage of that town. It's a little tiny, beautiful town, by the way, Andy. That place is fucking amazing looking. But then it's just fucking forest all around it, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wonder if the thing was really lacking, though, is they had John Lindgren audio, but they didn't show him. And it's like seeing him talk is what makes it worthwhile. And I haven't seen it in 20 years.
We'll call you if we need your testimony, Mr. Lindgren. Yeah, I'm sure he wasn't on the stand. They probably had it taped.
We did these things. They were like a fundraiser for the football program. And I forget what year it was, but it was an alumni football game. So, I was at least probably 10, 15 years out of high school anyway. And we played these alumni. Maybe it wasn't that long. Maybe it was about 10 years. And we suited up and played the rival shitty town, Myrtle Point, and in a football game. And all old fucking very little practice time. Nobody's in shape. Just a fucking bad decision. And some real ruthlessly big, mean motherfuckers on both sides. And there was a Coquille won. It was like a fucking 3-0, some stupid thing. And in the locker room, there's a picture of John Lindgren hoisting his helmet and yelling in the air like we just won the Super Bowl. And I think they quoted him something like, "We lost to Myrtle Point in 1979, and I cried my eyes out," or something like that. And then tonight when we won, I cried my eyes out again. And it's like, oh, fuck.
Right. The camera loves him.
Yeah, I remember alumni. I was a defensive back, and I didn't get, I tried to steer clear of people, but there was somebody that was like behind me, and I threw a fucking cheap shot behind him, and I think their names were the Mast brothers, but they were like big, giant, squared, like the last person in Myrtle Point you'd want to piss off. I just took a swing at in the alumni football game. Fuck. Yeah, it was really
from the bench. You hit a guy, a starting guy from the bench.
No, I was on the field, and I think it was in kind of a fucking pile up on the ground, and then how people get close behind, and I just kind of shoved back and to an immovable object. I was like, and it's like
hitting a brick wall.
Yeah, I think I checked out of the game. Like I don't play anymore. It was really fucking dumb.
Those small town rivalries are hardcore. We had one too.
Yeah, I wish that I didn't appreciate the alumni football game for what it was, and I should have, found a way to tape it and interview people, because it's just like the dumbest fucking shit that could have happened in Coquille.
Yeah. You'll do it, Andy, next year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, redone it. They've done it a few years since then, but I've never felt compelled to put the old pads on there again.
I didn't say you should play. You could interview.
Oh yeah.
And he goes out ready. Put me in, coach.
Yeah. Well, if
How
I
you
saw,
get all these ass stains? You're not even on the team.
that's what you don't even need to play football now. You just join Antifa. Where? Oh wow, Erickson just sent a.
Must
You
have
get
been
that?
Erickson buzzing.
Erickson sent a message that said, "Fuck, can he get Skype on his phone?" You know,
Andy, maybe you can help him. Give him a call.
Yeah.
I had the whole computer set up and everything was good to go, and then I had to fucking pull like a MacGyver situation out, and it worked oddly. And now I have the phone swiveling on a shoe, and I could, and because I'm not on the computer, when the sun started beating down on my head, I just up and moved. Fuck that. I don't need that. I don't need oppressive work conditions.
Your phone is actually a better camera and a better mic than your regular setup.
Wow.
Well, it's always in front of him. That's why.
Yeah.
He sets his next to him like
maybe so. That should be it.
Well, I've had such elaborate setups, and now I just have a shoe setting on a dead computer on a crate, Coca-Cola crate.
Oh, fucking.
Your yard looks fucking banging, dude. I love that look.
What's that?
Your backyard is beautiful.
Yeah, I can showcase more of the yard, and I haven't been able to put. I'm battling fucking yellow jackets, and I think it's going to be a terrific burn season. It started in places, but the last time there were so many fucking yellow jackets around was the big burn year about 3 years ago, and they're back. So I think once things start burning, I think the big burn season's gonna take our mind off the quarantine for a minute.
For you.
Shit, we gotta evacuate.
We've been on fire here. Arizona's been on fire for a couple months, so it doesn't really take it. It doesn't take the fucking place of anything. The news is too sensational. It eclipses everything. That judge that got assigned to Ghislaine, I think we talked about it, got her fucking son and her husband were shot, and then like it just wasn't even news anymore. Just one day that was
2
news.
days, I think the cycle, and it was a postscript on the second day.
I was like, God damn, we're moving
back
too
in the
fast.
day, that was fucking like someone coming after God. But now we've got everyone deployed to get people who are peacefully protesting in Portland.
Yeah, it's wild, man.
Yeah. Remember, like the news cycle used to be like the same thing over and over every fucking day. Like, I remember what was that fucking Scott Peterson murdered his wife every fucking day, and then a war started, and we haven't gone back to that kind of coverage that Scott Peterson got since then. Now the news moves so fast, and there's no fucking big fucking follow-ups on shit for the most part. It's like, okay, it's like
you would tune in.
I remember
Cronkite or something, and you would get the evening news, and then you get the late night news. But with CNN, it became a 24-hour news cycle.
24-hour news cycle. But even then, I remember it, Shaylee. Remember, it would just be the same fucking loop. You'd watch it, and then it would be over, and then it wasn't new news. It was just the same news over and over for fucking on a 24-hour loop.
And lighter news.
Yeah.
Remember when you used to watch TV, and at the end of the night, the American flag would come up with the national anthem, and then the fucking TV would shut down, and you couldn't watch TV anymore?
Yeah. You'd get tone on there.
Yeah, I just...
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America.
You knew you were done watching TV whenever the fucking channels all fucking played the national anthem and shut the fuck off.
If it wasn't for the national or the Pledge of Allegiance, I wouldn't know what side my heart was on to this day. Grab your heart and say a fucking, they should have fucking scared a few kids back then, right? Like, what are we doing here? Oh, we're just chanting a mantra before we start our day. Yeah. It's just swearing allegiance to the government.
Totally normal.
Yeah, no, this is what we do in democracies. pledge allegiance to a flag.
What do you mean
blindly
cult?
say oath that we don't even know to which it stands. What the fuck? What? I don't. Okay, but I know that it's like a Bible verse that I memorize. You just can spout it off if you get the first words, and none of it really. It's like marital vows or anything else that you have to fucking speak out that you don't really, like, oh wait, what does this mean? I'm not sure I like that one.
I mean, you said it right there, Andy. You say it enough times, you're always going to remember it. It's like the Our Father, the Hail Mary. That's the reason the Catholic Church instills those.
Thy kingdom come, that would be done on earth as it is in heaven. Well,
you probably do the whole thing because you've done it enough times, and that's the way I think religion gets you, and probably military the same thing, repetition.
Yeah, it's kind of ironic as I got my New Testament Bible from memorizing my Good News Bible, and it was the last time I was interested in the Bible at all, because it's like the good news stories were shortened, like a Reader's Digest version of the stories. And then I went to like, fucking, what is this shit? These begats, and I dove into the New Testament like I dove into the Good News Bible, thinking it was going to be a fun read, and I got into it, and it was like, there's just too multiple narratives always drive me crazy, and then who's speaking? Who is speaking this time? And it's like, Jesus.
It's like Pulp Fiction Bible. You don't know. Hey, did this already happen?
Right, and then they start with the end that hasn't happened.
That's an order on this thing, man. I thought that guy Vincent's already dead.
Right.
When I got to those pages where it started talking about the bolts of cloth and how long they were and what color each one was, and it was fucking minutia for fucking pages, I go, man, I'm out. I'm checking out of this book.
Yeah.
But I was already in the army when I read the Bible, and I wasn't raised religious at all. But when I went to the army, I think I told you guys this very first Sunday when I was in basic training, everybody got up and went to church. And then everybody who didn't go to church had to clean the fucking barracks the whole day. So you're scrubbing toilets and shit. So I was like, well, I'm going to fucking church on Sunday. I know that.
All of a sudden we got religion going.
Yeah, I was fucking...
Do some light reading.
So they gave me a Bible and I had nothing but time. So I read it. And I wasn't into it.
What was your favorite quote?
I liked the Book of Ecclesiastes. Made a lot of sense to me.
You gave a much better answer than the president of the United States.
Right? Yeah.
I like it. I like the whole book.
All of it.
You came up with
pin me down. I like the whole thing. The Book of Ecclesiastes includes that song. For everything there is a season. Turn, turn, turn.
Wow.
Yeah. That's that whole thing, that whole song is about the Book of Ecclesiastes.
Man, you do need the Bible.
I'm well-rounded.
I'm going to send you my New Testament.
For an ignorant redneck.
I'm going to send you my New Testament because you earned it. I got it as a it's like they thought I was going to dive into it and it didn't happen. I bet Erickson's fucking pissed. Erickson's got to be
another message. He can't get in at all.
Do we need to? Yeah,
I just lost connection, and then so I decided to go grab a beer.
Yeah, my phone just told me I got 15% charge, but I can deal with that.
Wait, Andy, you got to plug it in because we got to do the after party.
Oh, I know. I got it right here.
All right.
I think. Yeah, and I'm no Erickson when it comes to technology. You can. I have my phone could go out right now, and I would get some rabbit ears and a couple of ears of corn, and I could get back on Skype.
All right.
Some aluminum foil, a tin can. But I am out of booze. I can't even tell what time we're at here. How far along are we?
We've had a lot of interruptions that we're gonna have to probably have Todd earn his money on this one and cobble it together. And we still don't know where Erickson is.
Well, we do, but we don't know why.
Well, I mean, we know what city he's in, but that's not what I mean.
Yeah.
The last text we got says, can't rejoin for some reason. Reset modem, ran speed test, everything good here. Skype says connection too weak. I think all his neighbors got on the internet this evening.
The answer is exactly that. It's the fucking connection. That's 100% of it. And it always has been. With Erickson, I think you're right. Maybe the 6 p.m. is goofing with the load in that apartment complex. Yeah,
it happens with all my Twitch streams, Shaylee. Here, I know. how it works, man. People
There's
start
probably
getting on
been
in the evening.
a event happening in LA that Erickson's not aware of, and everybody's like freaking out, getting on their computers and screaming to their family, "This is the last time you'll ever see me."
This is it, Elizabeth.
Elizabeth, this is the big one. I'm coming to see you.
I think Erickson just got mad because we shamed him because he didn't watch the documentary and he just left, and he's just telling us that he can't get back on. He'll be back on for the Patreon. He'll be all right. He
honestly,
doesn't want to hear us talk about. He's having FOMO when we talk about the documentary.
Where was he the night Leah Freeman got ran over?
This is very suspicious.
Wasn't he working with that 2-man painting crew over at the Mighty Mart?
He didn't like to talk about his past too much.
I moved around a lot, you know.
God, yeah, that's that thing. I mean, you know, I didn't get we're just so used to fucking such bullshit from cops and stuff. But it's so, it's like there were so many similarities in that kid's existence and any kid that grew up and played a stupid football there at Coquille and dated a chick and stuff. And if that guy did get her pregnant, he would have married her on the spot. You know, that's what you do in Coquille. You don't murder a chick because she gets pregnant. You just murder your dreams.
Yeah, you know what? Going back to it, I think the fact that he was trying to fucking smooth up on that chick, the crackhead, that bolsters his alibi.
Absolutely.
That she was, because why would he keep looking or talking to cops and doing all this stuff? If he murdered her, he would have to go murder her and come back,
right?
And then do all this stuff. There's no time.
And imagine the dark motherfucker you have to be to murder your girlfriend and then pretend to look for her while you try to fuck some crackhead girl. I mean, that's a dark motherfucker right there.
Fucking horrible witnesses that those guys were like, yes, we got this motherfucker. Well, crackhead, John Lindgren?
John Lindgren was on his porch with his fucking one good eye, drunk on whatever. Fucking Copenhagen dripping down his beard into his Docker Dockeries, or what are those, hickory? He always wore the logger clothing, and dripping down into his man slippers, and they fucking ran over the chick. Two guys like, oh shit, we killed her, and shit, what are we gonna do? And John's like, in his mind, he sees that girl with her boyfriend making out in the car. Yeah. I don't know. I don't think he has. I don't know. I mean, I think he's too dumb to actually establish like an ulterior motive. But that's what I was thinking, is like maybe John is fucking the mother or something. But no.
If there's do me a solid.
Or what? Yeah, what if John hit her drunk driving? That's what I thought. What other motive do you have to lie?
Case wide open. You blew one, dude.
Times I've seen that guy though, and as a growing up and stuff, and he would have been in his 20s when I was in high school, like early 20s. I never once saw him driving. Like never. Like I saw him rip a car apart with his bare hands, but I never saw him drive a car. So I think
cars is what you're trying to tell us.
He may have been maybe his eye being so fucked up. I don't know. I don't know what it is. You know, if there's a written test, all kinds of reasons why John couldn't pass his test, but there was a thing where they went to Bill's Tavern. It was like a little news magazine, and they went to Bill's Tavern, which was the Stag Bar in Coquille. It was like just dudes only, and then they interviewed some locals, and you could see John Lindgren in the background in this news magazine. It was like this dumb, like, oh, I want to go to a bar that's not crowded. Well, I guess I got to go a little off the beaten track, and all the way from Portland all the way to Coquille, Oregon, and it's just it's a dude bar where they didn't let any women, and it was a real weird piece.
Wait, Andy, a stag bar. Does that mean it's a bar where no women are allowed in?
Right, and that was most of the interviews. All the dudes were like, "We don't let the women in here," and then they were like, "Yeah, we don't let it's like, what are you guys doing here that you don't want any chicks in here at all?" And
that's why you go to bars. Is to pick up chicks.
Only reason I've ever went to a bar.
Go to a gay bar.
When I was a kid, we delivered the newspapers. When my dad still had legs under him, we delivered newspapers, and Bubblegum Cagley or Wrigley Gum Cagley, he called him, because he always gave us gum, and he was he was the barber right next to Bill's thing. So sometimes I would hang out with the barber, but
Bubblegum Cagley was the barber? I'm just
Wrigley-
making sure I
Wrigley-
understand this.
Wrigley Gum Cagley. Wrigley Gum.
Wrigley, or no, Juicy Fruit Cagley is what my
Oh,
dad
that's
called
right. You said that before. Juicy Fruit Cagley.
So he, and then I would hang up it was right next to Bill's Tavern, and sometimes I would go in there, and right up front of the tavern was the fucking best porn selection ever. You know, I didn't get to see it as an adult, but it was like, holy shit, it's like fucking, you know, there was no Playboys in there or anything like that. It was just fucking.
That's too highbrow.
Harder, yeah.
There were a lot of words in those.
Yeah, it's just the fucking bubblegum pussy and all that, but and then it was just like it was always had this creepy vibe, but it was all these dudes just fucking like, you know, loitering around that place all the time, day drink, you know, it's just a great day drinking bar for these guys, but the fact that they took such pride and no women are in there, and like there were secrets and shit in there. But why they didn't interview John Lindgren? He's back there playing pool. It's like, wave over that local and talk to him. God damn it. It's ridiculous. Why, you know, I'm sure they interview him and then they just go, we can't use this. I think of John Lindgren. I think, like, you know, Bigfoot was real big back in those days, and people would say, oh, they spotted. I always thought John Lindgren might be, in fact, a Bigfoot. Like they just brought him into town and took the pharaoh out of him a little bit, put him in a cage and loved him a little here and there until
Moved
he
him
got
in with Mr. Edwards for a couple of months.
Yeah, just to calm him down.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so, and I, you know, shit, I should talk to somebody from back in the day to confirm it. But John Lindgren was the guy this is the story I heard. He climbed the rope in the gym, and then he touched the top, and then he could climb down, and then somebody said, touch both hands, John, and he did. And that's what they said. Like, and then the stories end there. It's like, wait, what happened? Did he break both legs and ankles falling down? And it's like, you know, so I think he's kind of urban legend.
We call an urban legend, Andy.
Yeah, no, I think he's part urban legend, but he's also been kind of like, there was a fire above Bill's place, and that's where the guy who threw bleach on me lived. But there was a fire above Bill's place, and I think John Lindgren went in and rescued people. Like knocked in, you know, if I remember correctly, John Lindgren might have been quoted as a hero of some sort during that situation. So, you know, he's just kind of a fucking superhero with a real limited skill set.
Well, he's not a superhero to Mr. MacGuffin.
No,
which
MacGuffin
was his actual name, MacGuffin. Which is also they point out in the documentary that that's a Hitchcockian term for something that is part of the story that you've chased throughout the whole thing, but it's not really integral to the actual story, which I thought was funny since he was
red herring.
Really the guy. Yeah, he was not really the guy.
It's like in a Kingpin being Munson.
Yeah. He got MacGuffin.
He got MacGuffin into his own story.
Yep.
All right, there. I'm tuning in. Yeah, MacGuffin. He must have been.
Wait, wasn't Erickson back for a second?
He said he can't join.
Has it? Well, tell him.
Look at that. Look at that kid. He's 18 years old. Can you imagine all the pussy that kid was knocking down in Coquille? There's probably a bunch of ugly motherfuckers in Coquille. He's a handsome dude.
Yeah. And he saw low-hanging fruit with that crackhead girl because she'd been smoking crack and he wasn't. He's just a little high maybe. But he'd already been pulled over by cops twice. So he obviously could handle his shit if he had smoked weed, because he admittedly smoked weed. But I mean,
like the guy.
Yeah, and he did his time, and the whole time was steadfast. And I mean, what are you gonna do? But you're surrounded by a bunch of people who are like, I'm innocent too. I mean, but he really was.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing is, I think kind of the whatever little gossip mill happened is it's like that was one of the final straws. It's like he's trying to hit on this other chick. He must. It's like
Who
a guy
who does that if their love of their life is missing? And I'm like, an 18-year-old kid does that if the love of their life is missing. Fuck, he had a few minutes. He knew she wasn't looking for him, and tried to get it fucking.
Yeah, I go. You know, the one I cheated with was a fucking cousin. It's like that's the family. It's like a fucking.
And you're gonna draw yourself into this investigation somehow, and I think you need to be quiet.
Well, where were you in 4th of July, Andy?
Yeah, I hadn't been in that graveyard since I saw. Oh, there was the best fights in that graveyard. Roy Campbell and Bill Zook were two fucking dudes I didn't like either of them. They were just like Roy Campbell had big ears and he just rubbed me the wrong way, and Bill Zook was a fucking jerk, loser, fucking asshole dude. And they would go. They had I think they had 3 fights over in the cemetery, and each one was bloodier than the next one. And nobody really, you know, it's like the whole
Back
school
in.
would watch these fights. Hey, he's here. Okay, you watched the documentary.
Man, wow, that guy got screwed over big time.
Yeah,
Unbelievable.
Did you go watch the documentary, Erickson? Is that where you went?
I could have if I would have had the internet. It was long enough.
Yeah, I said, did you hear it clicking? Because that's what happens.
Erickson, the crying shame is that you didn't get to hear about 3 more characters. There's Roy Campbell and Bill Zook, who fought in the graveyard, and then Wrigley Gum. What's his name?
Juicy Fruit.
Juicy Fruit Cagley.
Juicy Fruit Cagley.
I feel like my dad was just kind of you know, like he had nicknames for everybody, and that one was like the guy gave us Gum, you know. It's like that's, you know, it's not really a fucking like,
yeah, usually they're called pedophiles. Your dad just called them Juicy Fruit.
Well, I think
Sounds
it was
like a pedophile name.
He had like a mnemonic device where that's how he remembered who everybody was by, you know, oh, you're the Juicy Fruit guy. Oh, you're the Rose Garden guy.
I think it was smart to leave me with the guy who gave out candy to kids and going into the bar.
Were you just lean? Were you bringing them in?
Yeah, probably. You know, probably some of those magazines. I was probably in you know, that's why I wasn't allowed in there. I was in some of the magazines.
Erickson, like bingo, where we're trying to we can plot what's going on. Bill's Tavern is next door to the barber shop, and then next to that is the porno shop. So as we slowly
tavern, barbershop, porn shop.
Well, the barbershop had Juicy Fruit Cagley.
Juicy Fruit Cagley was the barber.
Yeah,
that was the best.
Of course he was.
Coquille, because had also had the movie theater where you could, you know, like they just put whatever shit movies. It wasn't even necessarily new releases or whatever, but you just go fucking, you know, it was like daycare. You go to the movies, and I'd you know, make out.
Made that clear to everyone, Andy.
Yeah, you know, eventually it was like a makeout place, or where people you'd either go make it was, you know, like the only place in Coquille where you could go. So you'd go make out during movies, or you get rid. I did both. I made out with a girl down in the first floor, and then I went upstairs and made out with it. This is, you know, it's like Coquille, right? I made out with 2 different girls at the same movie. Like I didn't even wait for the second feature. I was like, nah, this one ain't, you know. And I went upstairs.
So you were like that kid in Coquille whose girlfriend went missing, and then immediately started fingering another girl.
Well, it wasn't that missing one, you know.
She wasn't missing. He knew right where she was sitting. He just went down the hall.
I like that he's cruising the fucking balcony for any more gash that he can fucking.
Well, there were girls who let me sit next to them, but I was like, you know, I was a little advanced for my age because I'd seen lots of porno films with my older buddy in California. So I got back to,
you know how to cruise chick.
You know, like grab them by the pussy. There was like in Coquille in the swimming pool, we dudes would go around and just grab women by the pussy in the pool. Like, you know, that was our fucking town. It was just the fucking, you know. If the girl responded in a good way, then you impregnated them and became well. Then, you know, maybe you learned a little bit. Didn't get so aggressive at community college. Or get plunked out and sent back to Coquille.
the minor leagues.
Grabbing him by the pussy is a fucking courting ritual in Coquille.
Yeah, I know. There was one one lady who didn't seem to mind it, and she ended up being like a Mary Jo Letourneau. Like she fucked a student and went to prison.
The teacher.
Mary Jo Letourneau.
Wait, so even the female from Coquille are pedophiles? All the teachers? Like, are there any teachers who aren't having?
Well, she was teaching elsewhere, but she grew up there. She was, she dated a couple of my friends, and she was like, but it's just like well, I mean, I shouldn't have been groping, None of us should have been. It was like, what the fuck, but I'm glad, that's something I can look back on in 5th and 6th grade and going, I kind of know where my impulse came from. And in fact, I don't think it, I mean, I'm not condoning it, but there were some older chicks that like me. It's a 6th grade, 8th grade chicks that made out with me and stuff. And I think it was kind of the aggression in the pool. But it was a different time back then. The chlorine levels were off the charts.
What's up with your phone? I want to hear this.
Andy might be covering the mic.
Yeah, I can barely hear him.
Are you covering your mic?
I love it. I love the way he said, I think it may have been the aggression in the pool. The chlorine levels were off the charts.
Yeah. If only the sound was better, but I'm glad I heard it.
Yeah.
But, when you think about like, oh shit, that's fucking bad, fucking bullshit. We were pulling there as a, like fucking groping ladies in the pool, but yeah, it's like, where does that, I mean, I know where mine came from, but I wasn't the only one.
Andy.
Bad.
Yeah, I can't hear him.
Is your hand the microphone of your?
I wonder if it's because his battery's so low, Shaylee. I wonder if it starts reducing things.
Andy,
plugged it in.
Yes, let's do this, guys.
Jesus.
Let's go in mode here.
Yeah. Wrap this motherfucking nightmare up.
I can't wait to see this episode. I'm sure this is going to be great.
All right.
Yeah, perfect.
All right.
It's crossed our path.
Can you not?
So we'll make something of this. We'll figure something out. I can't wait to see it. I think that it's going to be fantastic. So we'll regroup.
Of the early days.
Yeah. It's like when the Beastie Boys went back to the 5 boroughs.
It's a nod to episode 2.
He's on a Dixie cup and a string.
Yeah. Wait, it sounded like he was coming back for a second. So, all right.
So, hey, give a plug to Chad.
Yeah, you guys know how this works.
Go to my Twitter. There you go.
Exactly. There it is right there. Play video games with Chad and the boys on Twitch. That's how you do it right there. You saw the Venmo for Andy up earlier. We're going to go over to Patreon, see how it works over there. Maybe with the Patreon money, we'll all have better connections. I'm not sure how any of that actually works.
That might be a thing we have to look into.
We might have to check that out. We might need a new tier.
Whether you can hear it.
Yeah.
If you have a computer, I will come to your place.
Oh, Andy, Jesus Christ.
We love you guys. Thank you for subscribing to whatever this is, and liking it and being out there.
Clearly, we don't know what it is.
We love you. We love you.
Cheers,
we'll
guys.
see you
Later.